Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Mark Shelf Space, and today I'm going to take a look at Moon Knight #1. This is from his first solo series in 1980. I'm going to take a look at this and see if I can determine what I think CGC will grade this book when I send it off here in the next week or so. So stay tuned, let's take a look at it. Alright, and welcome back. So this is a book I picked up a couple months ago in an eBay auction. I paid $36 for it. The seller had it listed as very fine condition. I looked at the pictures. It looked like it was probably a little better than that in my opinion. But when I got the book, I could see that there were some defects on the book I could see in person that I just couldn't see in pictures. I mean, he had pretty good quality pictures, but it just obviously wasn't the best because I couldn't see all the defects. So I haven't paid $36 for this with the seller's estimate at an 8.0, very fine condition. I paid about $20 less than what the current fair market value is for a graded 8.0. I think this book is still probably better than an 8.0, but we'll go ahead and break it out of the bag here and take a look at it. Alright, so we'll take a look here at the spine. Given that this is mostly a purple cover, the spine is where I noticed most of the defects in this book, just because there's some color breaking ticks and they show through pretty well on the purple color here. So we'll start at the top. And the top looks okay. There's a couple ticks here. It's hard to see at this angle, but from the side you can see there's two ticks right there along the spine. And we continue down here, you can see another two ticks right here. Show through pretty well in the purple there. And in the white, there's a spine tick right here. You can't see it. I couldn't see it in the picture either, just because it's hard to see, against the white color like that. And then down the book here, we've got a couple more spine ticks. There's three there, 1, 2, and then a third one right there. And actually a fourth one right by the barcode here. And look at the bottom, and then there's a fifth one there. I think I counted about 10 spine ticks in total on this book. It is a newsstand. As you can see here, the direct edition had, I'll put a picture of it up, I think it had Moon Knight or Spider-Man or something in place of the barcode here. But I'll slap that up here when I go back through and edit this. We'll take a look at the corners. So these corners are not the sharpest corners, but again, it's a newsstand book from 1980. So I imagine it's seen some wear over the time. In the bottom corner here, I'm trying to capture this, but you can tell it's a little bit blunted, just given the fraying and the rounding of the corner there. Look at the top right. Doesn't look too bad. And then the bottom right here looks pretty good as well. You can see along the where the book was cut here, since it's a purple cover, you can see there's some white there, but I'm not positive that CGC detracts from that or not. I mean, because I think that's something that happened when the book was produced and just the way that it was cut, but I'm not sure. I guess we'll see when it comes back. What the grader's notes say, I mean, there should be grader's notes on this book because there are enough defects on this book that they need to say something about it. We'll take a look at the inside of the book here. All right, so inside the book here, look at the inside the front cover. You can, I don't know if you can see here. If I get, yeah, see if I get the light just right. You can see there is a slight bend right here, but it's not. It doesn't appear to be color breaking. So that's something that when I'll just put this in my humidity chamber for a little while and loosen up the paper fibers, and then I'll give it a press, and that should press right out. I also actually saw on the front cover. Let's see if we can get this in the light here. Yeah, right there. You can see there's a bend in the book right there. It does look pretty deep, but it doesn't break any color. So again, I think if I get this in the humidity chamber for a while to loosen up the fibers, I think that'll press right out. It might take a couple times, but I think that'll press out okay. And with these older books, you gotta take a look at the page quality, because the older you get, the less likely you are to have books with white pages. And looking at these, I think these are gonna be toeing the line from white pages to off-white pages. I think, in my opinion, they're slightly off-white. We'll see what CGC says. There's a color chart out there. I don't know if it's an official color chart, but I've seen it before, where it shows the colors of page quality. And you can always compare your book that way. But I think these may be slightly off-white. And you just flip through the book here to make sure, there's no tears, there's no cutouts. Some of these older books, if the kids got them, they like to cut out these. Like, for instance, they want to get these Fun Factory super gifts. They'd cut out this portion here and send it in the mail, cut out this portion, whatever. So just make sure that nothing is cut out. If I remember correctly, if something is cut out, your book will probably come back with a green label, a qualified grade, just annotating that something was cut out of the book. If that doesn't bother you, then I guess you go ahead and get a green label, but some people that does bother. So these pages, you'll see also in here, so you see these little look like pinholes at the bottom. So these are not, CGC doesn't detract from the grade for those, because that was just something that happened when the book was in production. A lot of books from this age have those on the bottoms, but CGC doesn't detract a grade for having those, because they're just considered production error defects. See, this looks kind of dirty in here. You see this horse? He looks dirty. I might try and clean that off, but I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on that. Everything's still intact here. Just a little bit discolored inside, that's all. Sometimes I did, sometimes you always want to look through too, because I did have a book one time that had, like, on the inside cover, it looked like, down here in the bottom of the page margin, somebody signed the book or something. And I didn't send that book in, because I was afraid CGC would send it back with a green label and say something like, name written on inside a book. And it wasn't worth, the book wasn't worth coming back in a green label, because I don't think I'd ever be able to get rid of it, like, sell it to anyone. So I just chalked that up as a loss. But the rest of this looks good. I'll check out the back cover here. So I did a little cleaning on this because it was pretty dirty. But I think I cleaned up pretty well. So take a look at the corners here. This corner looks pretty good. This corner looks okay. Might be. Now let's just fold it over a little bit here. But that's something that when I press it out, I'll just press that back out. Not a big deal. Let's take a look at the top corner. Looks pretty good. Down the spine, staples look okay. And bottom corner, it's a little rough down there, but I think that'll smooth out when I press it. Now on these, like on the back of these covers here, especially with these white covers and these older books, you always want to make sure that you check the edges pretty well, because I've seen some tears. They're hard to see, like if you're just looking through the book real quick. You don't see it, but if you examine it closely, you can see sometimes there's a small tear on the edges. Just something to keep in mind if you're looking at an older book like this. Alright, so after checking out the book, what do I think the grade will be for this? As I mentioned, I purchased this at $36 in an 8.0 condition, essentially, but it was, it was raw. But after looking at this, I think I saw about 10 spine ticks on the cover. And I'll be honest, I don't know, what number of spine ticks equals a certain grade in CGC's eyes. I don't know if that's been calculated somewhere. I just haven't looked to see. But anyways, I saw about 10 color breaking spine ticks. The corners, the top and bottom corner, were slightly blunted. And there's a couple pressable defects from what I saw on the cover, just little bends that will press out with a humidity bath and a good press. So I think conservatively, very fine was probably a good estimate on this, but I think with the press, I think this could be an 8.5 to a 9.0 book. I really want to say probably 9.0, but again, with the number of spine ticks, I don't know if that will be detrimental to staying within the 9 range. So my guess is anywhere between 8.5 and a 9.0. I'm going to send this off here in the next week, and I'll probably be back. I'm not going to fast track it, so probably take a month or so to come back, but see if I got it right. I'm still going through and learning the grading against older books like this. The newer stuff that's come out, it's pretty simple to tell, like what constitutes a 9.8 or not. And most of the newer stuff, I'm only looking for 9.8s in those books. Older books like this, it'd be nice to have a 9.8, sure, but this book is not. And I still think that there's a little bit of room for this, especially with the Moon Knight series coming out here. So I just picked this up with the intent to sell it at some point. And get some money back. So if you guys like what you saw in this video, please go ahead and subscribe, click the like button. If you have comments about my grading, I'm always open to listen, hear what other people have to say, and see what CGC says if I was on or if I was off. But anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.